Alright, so basically gonna reshoot this and stop using quick capture because I'm sick of this crap. So anyway, since my divorce, I basically my thought process has gone pretty dark and gotten a lot more morbid and a lot more sick. And decided to start cruising around B. I always knew it was there. Um, I just never went because I don't know. I didn't like I don't like that fanboy stuff usually, and the weird stuff like the incessant people and seems immature to me, and a lot of it seems like a distraction. But I've been going there, and I actually kind of like it. Now that I've been going, um, even though I know that I can clearly see that the best days are over, but I can find where everyone went. um, I've been doing this stuff a long time, since the early '90s. This whole internet thing. So these little rules don't really mean much to me other than a nice little joke. I just don't think that someone like me talking about it can do much harm or good or whatever, because I'm just talking to some other political people, and it's funny because I've seen threads on there that are like, "Oh, these silly anarchists, if they want no government and no rules or whatever, and if they had their way, imagine what people like us would do." Um, and I say, so what? Um, the kind of society that creates a place like B, a place of just depraved morals and withdrawn people who don't want to interact in normal social settings, um, is exactly the problem and exactly the critique that anarchism lays out. Um, so I don't think that there would be quite the atomization in an anarchist society that there is now. I mean, I know there wouldn't, because you have to know your neighbor in order to survive, in order to get by. You have to work within your community. And if you don't, if you want to be a dick to everyone, if you want to be an asshole and use other people for your own amusement, you're not, you know, you're not going to survive, because no one's going to help you in turn. You're not going to be able to live in a community. And I mean, if you want to go out like Dick Prenneke and live in the woods, and there's no problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. That's why I point to that as an example all of the time. That's fine, but there's only, not many people can do that. Um, that requires a very high degree of self-sufficiency. And I see that, to me, uh, self-sufficiency, and self-reliance is a big part of anarchism. I mean, that's why I drift more towards primitivism almost than anything else, because it's practical and it gives you something to, do in this society, in this future society. Whereas the others are just kind of, philosophical interpretations of this and that, and, or just rhetoric, I go and I talk to people, real people who understand, who are political deviants themselves, and they don't they don't see it. I get the same argument a lot, which is basically like a libertarian minarchist argument, which is, well, there has to be something to, give structure to society and to people. And I don't think there does. I think that people can organize themselves how they see fit. And if you want to get in with an organization of people and then use those people at your own expense, they're not going to keep you there. They're not going to keep you in that organization. And if you're in a community or a town and you cause trouble, well, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. Whether that's, banishment or what. Or because free association is about associating with who you want to. And if you are going to force your associations on other people unwillingly or forcefully or whatever, they have a right to defend themselves, and they have a right to get you away from them, especially a community. But the funny thing is, there is anarchists there on B, and I've seen some anarchist threads, and the same kind of infighting breaks out there as here on YouTube amongst the, market types and social types. I've seen that, and I don't, I get involved. I should say, I have gotten involved in it a lot, enough on YouTube for my taste, and I don't feel to get involved in it anymore. It goes around in circles, and we wind up. I'm convinced that I've come to the conclusion that we really are saying the same thing, just with different words. And that initially that wasn't enough for me, but once I really sat down and listened to some of the stuff, and I thought about, wait a second, that's I don't disagree with that. It just, I'd phrase it differently. And they see different they see different things as being the epicenter of this new society, like e.g., unions, and I don't. It's fine, you can go form your own union, but unions are a very different thing in this society than in some future whatever society. So I just wonder why these people are so turned off to this idea. And I wonder what they want, what they expect. Because the anarchists like us aren't out to actually cause chaos and whatnot. We're out to defeat the state and defeat arbitrary relationships and arbitrary power. Whereas these people really are out to create chaos, at least to some of them are. They're out to have fun at the expense of others. And I mean, in a fucked up society like this, that's fine. Do whatever you want. Even in the future society, that's fine. Do whatever you want, but no one's going to associate with you. Here you just have, fucked up laws and everything that you're going to come into contact with. So yeah, I just don't understand why people can't wrap their minds around it. That's what I see. It's just people can't wrap their minds around the idea of not having central authority. Yeah.